good trade at all. You think we're going live?
Alright, I think we should be back. So after OBS decided not to transition, not to transition into the in-game scene, and instead rather crash, we might be lucky. Did I go live? Yes, I did. Stupid me. Never mind, never mind.
Are we live? We good?
Yeah, we're live, and I'm now transitioning into the game, and maybe it works now. Yep, alright. Alright. Do you want to tell us what happened on 2000 Atmospheres?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, first off, we've got Bot for Nick, the red Terran player in the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh yeah, sure. We should probably introduce him.
Introduce them, yeah. And in the top right, to the Blue Zerg drones, it is Bollock Jr. You'll notice Bollock Jr. is still on one base, and he's really only got 18 workers. What he started off with was a 12 pool, rushed into roaches, and went across the map and made ravages all the way on his way there, and really put a lot of pressure on Botvinnik, but with some quick repairs on it. He double bunkered the top of his ramp with some quick repairs. He was able to stabilize, deflect that attack, and yeah, I mean,
now he's dying.
Botvinnik really wasn't delayed too much. I mean, he had to cancel. There we go. GG gets called. He had to cancel the. He had to cancel his CC on the low ground, but yeah, he was able to hold the Ravager attack, which, I mean, corrosive biled most of the bunkers down and quite a few of the supply depots, and supply blocked Botvinnik there, but there was no real follow-up there. The whole plan was to go across the map and kill Botvinnik as soon as possible, and unfortunately Botvinnik didn't die. Went with two factories, got the Cyclone up pretty early, and yeah, there were two Overlords giving Bullock Jr. some high ground vision, but the Cyclones locked on, killed the Overlords, and yeah, Ravagers walking up the ramp into two bunkers just don't last very long, and you know, Botvinnik gets the win in just over 6 minutes.
Alright.
Crazy game one.
So I'm really sad we didn't get to see all of that. As always. Pretty unfortunate. Well, we're gonna get game 2. And I didn't get pulled into the lobby as usual.
Yeah. We should have you coming in now. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy game one. Pretty crazy way to kick off the 21st edition of the CSO Open Cup. And Romanticide's going to be our next map. Yeah, really unlucky there for Bullock Jr. I mean, he picked a pretty aggressive strategy, and Botvinnik already committed to building the CC on the low ground. Even though he scouted the 12 pool, he did get to see that the Roach Warren was already being built there, and so he knew to just stay on the high ground, don't die to whatever's coming to his side of the map. And yeah, Bullock Jr. hadn't even built a natural hatchery. He was really committed to going across the map and killing Botvinnik. So yeah.
Alright. Well, after Botvinnik took that pretty convincing 1-0 victory, we're on our second map on Romanticide. I also got confirmed that we're in fact back online. Spawning in the bottom right, the red Terran player. This is Genesis Gaming's Botvinnik.
And in the top left-hand side with the Blue Zerg drones, it is down 1-0 in this series, Bullock Jr.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it seems like
He's expanding this time.
yeah, cheeky strategy didn't get pulled off successfully in game 1, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it looks like he's just going to open up pretty standard 16 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pool, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, as you mentioned earlier, the MMR difference between these players really doesn't favor Bullock Jr. So I really like to see him pull out that aggressive strategy in game 1, and it would have been good for him to have gone 1-0 up in the series, considering that Botvinnik is a GM player. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, like you said, some crazy games have happened before, and we've seen some crazier things happen in the CSO Cup. So let's see if Bullock Jr. can pull it back in this best of 3.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of unlikely. I mean, given the MMR and... Yeah, that's...
The momentum so far, yeah. Botvinnik must be feeling pretty good with that hold in the beginning.
Yeah,
He does see
probably.
the timing of the hatch, and he knows that that's hatch first, so doesn't need to go into the main base and do any sort of further scout after seeing that hatchery starts at a normal time. Reaper's going to make his way across the map, and we're going to see this Zergling Reaper dance. It's become pretty much the bread and butter opening of ZVT.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect 1 or 2 Zerglings to die during this, by the way. But it looks... Nope. 1 Zergling falls. Second Zergling falls. This is the point at where it starts to hurt for the Zerg player. Also, usually the Queen should pop maybe a little earlier, but Bullock Jr. nearly gets the Reaper.
When that Reaper survives with literally 1 health, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's
but
ridiculous. And he's gonna get another
yeah, Botvinnik's a ball with the Reapers. The second it started regenning, immediately goes back in.
I mean, that's 5 kills on that Reaper. That's pretty crazy stuff. And I mean, I think Bullock Jr. is just taking that engagement a little bit too far on creep, and then, I mean, off creep, which definitely doesn't help the Zerg player. Those Zerglings really should be placed back behind the minerals, behind the natural hatchery. As, yeah, I think this drone might just get caught out. I see that hatchery's being queued up. Oh no.
Doesn't get it. Or doesn't even look for it, it looks like. And you know, these 5 Zerglings are Zerglings he really doesn't want to replace, but he did. And he did with quite plenty Zerglings. I think that's way too much.
Yeah,
I think you want to rebuild maybe one or 2 pairs after losing those first few.
Yeah, but I mean, that's definitely... I mean, he's got, what, 11 Zerglings out on the map right now, and that's essentially 5 extra drones. And like you say, if he had built 2 more pairs, that's 3 extra drones that he could be using to mine. Now, this Overlord doesn't get the scouts in. The Marines at the front were good enough to drive that away, but...
Baneling speed on the way already.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
I guess he wants to get these Zerglings into Banelings rather quickly. And maybe roll them into the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, there is an armory on the way here for Botvinnik. So, I do wonder if this is going to be a Hellbat attack. Yeah, it definitely is going to be. I mean, I think he's still got the reactor on the factory, so he's going to continuously produce Hellions 2 at a time. And yeah, the Liberator also on the way, and I've seen this quite a bit lately with the Hellbat push with the Liberator to harass on the other side. Because I mean, that pulls your
oh, these are so many tumors that he could get without even scanning. He doesn't scan, doesn't get him, or just gets a few while killing 2 queens, and
yeah, pretty much
now they're really... These Banelings are the only thing that's there to defend for now. You can't really run Zerglings into Hellbats. This mineral line will fall. This is a disaster.
Yeah.
Some Banes will crash in, clean some of them up, the Queen will help. And eventually...
It was targeting the medevac, so I mean now it's attacking these Hellbats, but these 2 Hellbats might just be enough here with that medevac healing him. These 2 Hellbats are going to take out this Queen, and...
Yeah, it doesn't do enough damage.
I mean, his
Not,
helmet's going to kill the
not even
spawn crawler
close.
that's morphing, and yeah, that's one completely dead mineral on here.
Also, in the third, 3 Hellions driving in. Seeing
Yeah.
nothing at all in the third.
Yeah.
We'll just start
Botvinnik.
brewing on the lava and the hatch.
Botvinnik literally doubling the supply, almost tripling the supply of Bullock Jr. Yeah, scans the main base, sees that there's really not much up there, and yeah, I think Bullock Jr. is just straight up dead. Yeah, he's going to lose his natural hatchery. He's going to lose his third hatchery. He's got some banelings on the way, and he's got a spawn crawler building up in his main, but that's definitely not going to be enough. Botvinnik's gone for a third base on the back of this triple orbital. Yeah, I mean, there's the Liberator sieging up in the main.
Yeah, does it even matter at this point? I don't think it does, but...
Yeah, I mean, Bullock Jr. can't even spend the money he has right now, regardless of actually being able to mine anymore. I mean, he does clean up this army from Botvinnik, so there's
But
nothing on his door right now, but yeah.
There's more streaming across the map.
We've got a 3-base Terran against a 1-base Zerg. Feels bad, but I mean, you know, like we said, it was going to be a bit tough for Bullock Jr. going into this matchup, and yeah, there's that scan to pick up those creep tumors that unfortunately the Hellbats didn't get. They did damage quite a few of them, but yeah, I like the scan from Botvinnik, just crossing his T's and dotting his R's and making sure to clear up the creep. These banelings are going to finish up, and I mean, the Liberator doing a really good job at picking off those morphing banelings, but yeah, here we go. Botvinnik's just going to push up this ramp, and these Hellbats do a pretty good job at clearing the lings, and these Stim Marines can make short work of the spawn crawler, and that's going to be it.
Yep.
The drones get pulled in, and yeah, there's literally not much that
nothing to do.
Jr. can do.
GG gets called. And with that, Botvinnik takes a convincing 2-0 victory.
Game 2.
And yeah. Well played. We'll face Nicorect in the next series. And yeah. Meanwhile, looking at the bracket. Baxan apparently got a 2-0 victory over Papa Panda. And would now face B, but it appears B might not be online.
I'll see on the in-game chat B.
Yeah, apparently he's playing in another tournament.
Yeah.
Well, I think our next series will be Nicorect versus Botvinnik. And we're gonna have that after a quick break. Before we go into that break now, you can see in the bottom right we have a Matcherino for tonight, as we usually do. The code is CSOCU21, and you can find the link as well as the code again under !P for prize pool. Wait, are we already in?
Yeah, these players.
Well, I was gonna throw it into a break. But
yeah,
nope.
Any break.
No break for today. We're just gonna
shoot straight into the next one, apparently.
Yep. The next one, as I said, Nicorect versus Botvinnik. This time a GM versus GM. I think third seed versus like 5th seed. So rather close matchup. I mean, our matchups, I don't think our seeds are done via MR, but primarily via OSC points, I think. But yeah, looking very closely matched. So let's gonna just hop in the game, I'd say.
Yeah.
And hope that Ops doesn't screw up the transition again. No, it doesn't. So, well, we can introduce our players in the top left. The red Terran for Team Hasu is Nicorrect.
And in the bottom right of Lightshade with the blue Terran SUVs, playing for Good Game Gaming, it is Botvinnik.
It's Genesis Gaming though.
Genesis Gaming, I apologize. Every time I see GG, I think Good Game Gaming. Every time. Even when I GG out after losing.
Well, so, like I said, much more closely matched matchup. And also a mirror matchup this time.
I mean, TVT is generally the longer matchups because I feel like this could go all the way until we're waiting for them to finish to see who actually plays further on down the line. They're not as easily decided as PvPs, are they?
Oh no. This best of 3 can drag on longer than a PvP best of 5 or maybe even best of 7 in some cases. If they decide to play it out and it doesn't play out one-sided, this could go on for quite some time. So, looking at the production tabs, I've kept a pretty close eye on them, and it's exactly mirrored.
Yeah, a few half a second here and half a second there, but they are pretty identical. So
Both players expanding at roughly the same times. Botvinnik maybe a second or two behind. Well, that shouldn't really matter in the long run.
yeah, I mean, we'll
And
wait
really-
just to see where the real deviation comes, but so far both players opting to go for a Hellion from their factory, and
Well, we have a mine for Botvinnik. Only correct. Still producing a Hellion.
Botvinnik has gone for that reactor, which takes quite a long time to build. He has gone for that reactor add-on, whereas Nicorrect only opted to go for that now. So that's really the only difference. Both players opening up 1-1-1.
This Widow Mine skin. Man. How do I get impressed by skins every time?
I really like this Widow Mine from Botvinnik. I mean, Nicorrect's going to come here and put a little bit of pressure. And we'll
Oh
see.
yeah, and shoot, bam!
Yeah.
One Reaper down. 2 Reapers down. Well, the mine will fall for this. Spread
I
on
mean,
the oh no.
Oh, that's pretty unfortunate there.
Yeah, Botvinnik lost this fight pretty hard. And is gonna suffer quite a few losses now. I don't think it is game ending. But lost an SUV. Lost some mining time. And of course the units that fell during this.
Yeah, I
On
mean,
the Hellions will go
both
home
players
happily.
getting that early Raven. There's no Cyclone out on the side of Nicorette. Botvinnik has the Cyclone, which I really like that. Those lock-ons can be pretty powerful. So, yeah, but we'll see these pretty much even work account so far. And Nicorette taking that favorable trade in the beginning. He's up a few army supply, but really not too much to shout about at the moment. As
The Hellions coming back. Poking in once again after they got repaired, it looks like. Just checking out the corner of Botvinnik's base. Who has sieged up a tank there. making sure nothing gets in.
Yeah, I mean both players playing pretty safe, going for their 3rd CCs up in their main base, and yeah, it looks like they're just going to
Play it slowly, yeah.
yeah, no one looking to really overextend. I do like the fact that Nicoret's got those 2 Hellions patrolling outside Botvinnik's base, so he's going to be aware of any sort of like move out that Botvinnik does. So you know he should be pretty safe on his side. I mean, he's not scouting the whole bottom right-hand corner, but if anything's going to come across to his side of the map on the ground, he's definitely got some vision there.
Yeah, at home. His CC is a little bit later. Botvinnik's has just finished. Wow, he's gonna take like 10 or 15 seconds. Still, I think. Nothing too big. Marines will chase away the patrolling Hellion and actually kill it. But Nicorect has decided it's time to go across the map anyways. Gets spotted by this Marine. Giving Botvinnik a small heads up on this.
Yeah, I really like the Vikings on the side of Botvinnik. Yeah, I mean, Nicorect has absolutely nothing, so Botvinnik's going to have that slight advantage in the air. We're going to be able to push these Ravens back, but you just mustn't overextend here and let these Marines get under those Vikings, or even that Cyclone, for that matter, because they can do pretty serious damage there. But yeah, there's 4 Vikings now on the side of Botvinnik, and we'll see. Nicorect just mustn't let his Ravens move too far forward, or else
we have the typical TVT standoff.
Yeah, tanks do have further range than they can actually see, so yeah, Nicoret's gonna opt to just back up a little bit. Doesn't want to overextend here.
But Botvinnik really wants his base to finally fly down, since Nicorect has been mining for a bit there on his base. And we'll start working on the rocks in the meantime.
Oof, that's pretty
One
unfortunate.
of his Cyclones, yeah, gets caught on the map. Yeah, he was kind of spotting a little, but a sensor tower obviously also giving Botvinnik a pretty good sense of where Nicorect is.
And yeah, Nicoret's actually still quite poised on Botvinnik's side of the map, and he is up, or he was up almost 10 supplies. The supplies have now evened up a little bit with Botvinnik getting a couple more Vikings here. Botvinnik's really taking control of this like air composition. Yeah, he's got 6 Vikings, whereas Nicorect still only has the 3 Ravens. He's got some Vikings of his own, but I mean, Botvinnik is really up there in the air race, so we'll see. Nicorect just moving around, just in the range of that sensor tower, so keeping Botvinnik's army mobile and not sieged up in any position at the moment. So yeah, I really like what Nicorect's doing here. It's really keeping Botvinnik at home and forcing some APM to keep his army moving around, not sieging up and in a really strong defensive position.
Yeah. Nicorect behind it is going up in supply a little, while also, I think more importantly, trying to take his 4th base. Botvinnik's 4th base on the other side. Only halfway done. Now this could give Nicorect a little bit of an economic advantage. Who at home is starting up his +2 as well.
Yeah, and I like this move out from Botvinnik. I mean, he's sort of saying like, well, if you're not going to knock on my door, I'm going to come knock on yours, and we'll see. Nicorect does siege up first, so we'll see.
Yeah, fight is happening. Big disables on like most of Botvinnik's tanks. Oh my god, it's a disaster.
Yeah, that's
He
actually
gets completely smashed.
yeah, serious
Oh,
smash in
oh
there.
well, this is the reason.
That's I was about to say that's probably why most of his army just picked up and got dropped into the main, and yeah, Nicorak's actually done a pretty good job of clearing out that first attack, but I mean the second attack, his main CC goes down. He's going to lose a little bit more now, but
I mean,
yeah,
all
this
in all, he's held pretty well.
yeah, I mean the supplies are still fairly even. There's still one
Oh no.
lone marine here firing away at this
Please
tech
kill
lab.
that, thank you.
Is it going to burn? Will it burn?
Yeah, I think it will. No, it won't.
Oh no, there's an SCV on repair. Yeah, I mean, Botvinnik really, all of his tanks getting disabled there by the superior Raven count on the side of Nicorak, but yeah, I wonder if those Marines had stayed back, there would have been a more even fight, but yeah, Botvinnik, those Ravens really doing a pretty good job at shutting down most of
Yeah, and I
Botvinnik's
mean,
tank.
Nicorak immediately goes across the map, knowing he has won that fight.
We
And
have
in the
13 tanks
meantime,
again, 6.
yeah, Botvinnik has kind of rebuilt. Oh yeah,
The
his
infantry
tank
upgrades
was
are on the
lower.
spot. Yeah, the infantry upgrades are there on the side of Botvinnik, so I mean, as long as these tanks aren't siege, the bio for Botvinnik's going to be a bit more deadly as well. 2-2 just finished this up now for Nicorak, so the upgrades are pretty even at the moment. But yeah, like I mean, it's 13 tanks to 9. Botvinnik's getting the opportunity to catch up, but I mean, these Marines are going to stem in and give these tanks the opportunity to siege up, and there goes all his bio.
Yeah, looked pretty decent in the beginning, but obviously Bio can't really just walk into the tanks. Looking at the supply, I think we should rather have a look at the units tab. Botvinnik only up 1 tank. Oh, now it's 3.
He does have the 7 Vikings though, so any sort of like medivacs that come across the map on the side of Nicorak are actually going to get picked off pretty quickly, whereas Botvinnik has 3 medivacs of his own, and seems like he's going to send 2 off to the north, and he might go drop inside the main. Yeah, he's going to send 2 up to the north, and it looks like he's going to go attempt a drop in the main. But Nicorak not going to put too much pressure on his side of the map going home.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to just sort of consolidate all his forces.
Though that will kind of levels out the army advantage in just a big heads-on fight. The fact that the drop is gone. Though obviously a drop backstab is always a good idea. He doesn't want to drop though, but just run in into the third. I'm not sure if that is the correct idea.
I mean, he picks off a refinery and that's about it. Trying to slow the gas down of Nicorak, but
the range being researched by Botvinnik behind this. Whose supply lead is now about 20.
Yeah, I mean 3-3 on the way for both players. Yeah, it looks like we're setting up into a pretty longish game.
Botvinnik moving out.
Yeah, Nicorak as well. Both players moving out, and it looks like Botvinnik might just get the opportunity to siege here first before Nicorak, and yeah, he does. His tanks get to siege up first, and yeah, he's actually is he in range of this?
Yeah, he's got a nice position. Vikings will bruise the
wow, that's
you
a lot
see
of
a little
tanks.
more. Now it's just yeah. Imagine you drop like 1 marine in the middle of all of these.
Oh, friendly fire. Oh, it would be so good. But yeah, I mean, this is the typical TVT here with you don't really go. Yeah, so those tanks unsieged and move forward, and Botvinnik's gonna stem forward, pick off a couple of units. I don't know if he picked up, yeah, picked off a tank. Bears also. He's starting to nibble away as soon as he sees that Nicorac's out of position.
Yeah, he also killed the sensor tower, which reduces Nicorac's kind of vision.
Yeah, sort of like awareness of where he is, where his opponent is on the map. Nicoract is gonna opt to take that 4th base in the bottom left-hand corner. Realizes that he can't spend too long.
Yeah, but Botvinnik also take the corner base, but as his 5th.
Yeah, as his 5th. I mean, that position on the side of that Botvinnik has on Nicoract was 4th. I mean, that's definitely going up to 5th bases of his own is definitely going to make a big difference here. And yeah, I mean, Nicoract really allowed Botvinnik to siege just outside his base, and yeah, I mean, there were Nicoract is opting to drop on Botvinnik's side of the map and gets a pretty early warning of that, but yeah, how much does
anyways.
Botvinnik have here to defend? He's got 2 tanks. There's not too much here to defend Nicoract. Nicoract is gonna move out
Meanwhile,
yeah.
Botvinnik is caught with a big chunk of his army in the middle of the map.
I'd really like to see Nicoract load those medivacs on the south side and drop in the main, just do exactly what Botvinnik had done.
Well, he decides to just go in. I think this might be the fight.
Yeah, I mean, he lands those Vikings, but Nicoract the first to land the Vikings, and still a few Vikings left here for Botvinnik. But
yeah, on the other side, Botvinnik has had the rest of his army in Nicoract's base, just gonna go in.
Nicoract's gonna top. GG is, well, yeah.
In an interesting turn of events.
I mean, that's a pretty early ending to what was looking to turn into a bit of a base trade.
Yeah, I think it was.
Wow.
Botvinnik having just lost all of his units. Oh no, Nicoract having lost all of his units in Botvinnik's base. Oh, not all, but didn't have a real chance anymore. And yeah, had to tab out.
We've lost you for some reason.
We lost me? Oh no. Am I? Entering lobby bug. I frickin' hate when it does that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to quickly log out. Why does Blizzard like hate my game? I literally reinstalled it this morning.
Wow. That's really unfortunate.
I literally reinstalled it this morning hoping the issues would be fixed, but nope. Nope, they aren't. Could you re-invite me?
Yep. Add player.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the bracket, I see the bottom half of the bracket's already at the semi-finals. With Becksun going to take on Beastork. And yeah, we're still in this TVT. Game 2 loading up. And we'll see if Nicoract can pull this one back after pulling the trigger there a bit early. And I think Botvinnik just had, instead of Nicoract pushed up into Botvinnik's natural there, and I think he was expecting Botvinnik to pull back his army, but instead Botvinnik decided to unsiege all his tanks and marines that were poised on his side of them, on Nicoract's side of the map, and just go up and sort of into a bit of a base trade scenario. And yeah, I think Nicoract expected Botvinnik to pull back. But here we go, game 2 is on. We're loaded in, and
yeah, let's jump right in. Also, before I do that, we just saw Christiana beat Slayer's MVP 2-0. So the winner of this series will face of Christiana. Spawning in the bottom left. The blue Terran is Botvinnik.
And in the top right, the red Terran player sending 2 SCVs across the map. It is Nicorrect.
Yeah, that was kind of the reason why I was hurrying a little with those player interests. I really like them, so I don't skip them like GSO does, for some reason.
Yeah. I've noticed a couple of GSLs just skip the player.
Yeah, they usually do on Jesus. I mean, I guess they go in like at 25-30 seconds.
Yeah.
So there's not really that much time.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what this double proxy Rex does. Botvinnik sending an SCV now across the map at a normal timing, but I mean, yes, absolutely, he's not going to know that this is coming for another 15 odd seconds.
Yeah, his SCV going across the map as usual, obviously. And third barracks.
Wow.
Alright, will we have a fourth? No. The fourth barrack would, I think, require a third SCV to be even remotely useful. Botvinnik has arrived.
Yep.
Sees, now there is no barracks, and will also... Oh, this is unfortunate for Nicorrect.
I'm not sure if Botvinnik was paying attention to the pathing of that
Yeah,
SCV.
true.
I think he's
If he was, he would know roughly where that SCV was coming from.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, not sure he was. His Reaper and Marine now on the top of the ramp is ready to meet the Reaper and the other Reaper. However, both of Botvinnik's units instantly fall while Nicorrect survive. It is a good start for Nicorrect.
Yeah, I mean, there is a Marine and a Hellion on the way. Botvinnik's going for a starport as well, so I mean, he's just going to he's going to proxy the starport on Nicorrect side of the map, so I mean, he's feeling pretty confident that he can hold this.
Yeah,
Boys,
I mean, the boys...
like
this is a really cool
like
threat, obviously. The disadvantage of it is that you only have very few mining going on. And the Reapers can just walk up the ramp as well, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, these SCVs are here just to tank for a bit, as they will be on attack move, so I mean, if well, he pulls them back now to mine, and he feels like he can hold this, but I don't think so. I think the SCV should have stayed with these units, although these Reapers are getting pretty low here on the side of Nicorrect.
Yeah, and Botvinnik now feels ambitious enough to go in. Oh, unfortunately for him, he loses his Hellion during that.
Yeah.
Giving Nicorrect kind of free reign again.
Against these SCVs, and
more
yeah,
SCVs
I mean, if
will
SCVs
fall.
were on his on repair against that Hellion, it would have been a completely different fight here. I mean, there's really not much mining going on now on the side of Botvinnik.
Yeah, 10 SCVs already fallen. Botvinnik is
he
down
does
on workers. Well,
Botvinnik does have a
Nicorrect...
proxy Liberator that's going to go siege Nicorrect's main base, so I
Oh
mean, there is
no,
that going on.
just arrived. Absolutely shutting...
All mining down on Nicorrect's side of the map. There's absolutely nothing Nicorrect can do about that, but yeah, I mean, there's
Meanwhile-
just too many Reapers here. They're
I mean,
almost
Reaper-
one-shot the Italians. Oh.
They do a lot of damage, they don't quite kill them, and now... The
These two
Reapers have
Hellions should be able to-
overextended.
Yeah.
One Hellion will fall,
And
but he just
wow.
caused GG.
yeah.
Alright.
Wow. That was a pretty crazy game.
Yeah,
Uh,
I wonder if Nicorrect could have recovered. But decides...
wow, that was a pretty... that was a pretty crazy...
Crazy game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the triple Rex Reaper, and I really thought that Nicorrect is in a pretty good position there, with the SCVs getting pulled the entire time, but I think the I think the Liberator shutting down all the mining on his side of the map was a pretty good answer there from Botvinnik, because there's nothing at home to actually deal with that Liberator, the proxy starport.
Yep.
And that's yeah,
That's
pretty good
with round.
Yeah.
Round 2 then. So we're gonna have we've got both semifinals already. We're definitely gonna cast the bottom one, and perhaps we're gonna hold the first one depending on the players. But before that, I think we're gonna throw it into a very short break, and when we return, well, we should have that going. See ya. Alright, welcome back everyone to the CSO Cup. Our next series is the not lower semifinals. The second semifinals. First semifinals is holding, I hear. Partly because this is a PvP we're looking at. That shouldn't take too long. It's Bystock versus Bexan. Both rather high ranked.
I'm quite familiar with the Bystock. Bexon, I don't think I've seen him in the CSO Cup before, but definitely familiar with the Bystock stone.
Yeah, I think I've seen him before. But we'll see as we head into this match. Spawning in the top right, the pink Protoss player. This is Bystork.
And in the bottom left with the green probes, playing for, I don't know, PLA2N, it is Bexan. Have no idea what PLA2N stands for, but...
Me neither.
Platinum something? I don't
Clan?
know. I have no idea.
Oh, this is Platoon. I know where I've seen it. From Clan Wars.
Platoon, there we go.
This is Platoon.
PLA2N Platoon. Aha, see what they did there. Very clever. Very, very clever. I mean, this is a PvP, so should I really enjoy PvP decks. Always chaotic.
Yeah, also doesn't take too long. Not like the
Yeah.
typical TVT. Which is not quite what we've seen in the last series.
Yeah, and I mean it's pretty much going to be mirrored from both sides here. Both players opting to block each other's naturals, and yeah, I think there we go. There's the pylon block from Biostalkers. I think he was about to lose that probe. Bexon must have got the first shot off theirs, and Biostalk paying attention, decides to pull his probe away, go for that pylon block, and is he going to cancel it at the very last moment? No, he's actually going to let it finish.
Yeah, both pylons finished. This is annoying.
Yeah.
Also quite an investment, obviously.
Yeah, I mean the cost of 100 minerals to delay your opponent's nexus. I suppose when your nexus is delayed, you really have to commit to doing the exact same thing. You can't afford to let him get up his nexus before you do.
Yeah, oh my. Did Bexan really just build a cyber core there?
Wow.
Wow. This
This
is some high level. And here's the answer.
Yep.
From Bystork's side. Now Bystork didn't have quite enough time.
Yeah.
Didn't have quite as much time to build up. But looks like...
Yeah, he's gonna let this finish as well. That's crazy. I mean, so I didn't know that the building will continue building even though there's no pylon to power it. So
yeah, it does. You literally don't need a pylon. Except for placing it.
That's crazy. Both players really not letting each other get their second nexus up and staying on one base for pretty much as long as possible.
And here we have the first nexus.
Yeah, Biostalk the first one to clear it, and yeah, both players finally at 3.5 minutes getting their natural nexuses down. This is a pretty interesting start.
Well, if this isn't gonna cause, isn't gonna spark some cheese in the next match, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I mean the Stargate on the side of Biostalk is a bit slower than that of Bexon, so Bexon has an Oracle being produced already as the Stargate literally finishes now for Biostalk, so we'll see what Biostalk opts to go for out of that Stargate. It is the Void Ray. No, I really don't mind the Void Ray for defensive purposes. Void Rays can melt through Stalkers if the Stalkers aren't target firing them, so yeah.
And even then they're gonna do a brutal amount of damage.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Biostalk's gonna chase down the Stalk of Bexon all the way into the corner, and I really like this for Bexon, really just pulling those units out of position. As his Oracle, I mean, he's aware that the Stalkers are now in the top left-hand corner. His Oracle's gonna shoot in here, and the Void Ray is there.
Void Ray was sleeping on the job.
Yeah, move commander. They do cross paths, probably exchanged a few angry words as they go past, but
looked very angrily at each other.
Yeah. And
then Biostork's Void Ray realized it could also just shoot. Where there's this minor design flaw of the Oracle, in that it doesn't shoot something in the air.
And yeah, it looks like Biostalk's going to look to take a forward position. There are two Oracles that are meeting up for Bexon on the right-hand side of the map. He's going to aim at the mineral line of Biostalk, but there's pretty much not much here at home to defend here for Bexon. So we'll see what...
Yeah, the Void Ray is gone. Another Void Ray is gonna pop in a second. Recall is being triggered to call back the first Oracle, which... well, doesn't really do a lot. Some probes going down. 8, in fact.
8 probes. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, there was a shield battery in the mineral line there, and I suppose that's the good part about having your Oracles. Having two Oracles, because then they're one-shot probes, and the shield battery's not able to get too much done. But Biostalk does pick off one of those Oracles, so he minimizes that sort of damage on the other side of the map. But Barstork's here with 3 Void Rays and 5 Stalkers and targets down that shield battery overcharge.
Yeah, these Void Rays doing an insane amount of damage. Probes being pulled.
Probes being pulled here, and yeah, I
Void Rays will continue to melt through the Stalkers.
Yeah, these Void Rays are actually pretty good. I like that micro on that first Void Ray. They've got quite a bit of hull damage there. They are just going to target down these Stalkers.
This one Void Ray is kind of not targeting a lot, but it's also very low. So that's probably intended.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Barstork has a
Bexon
pylon
is
at the
dead.
6 o'clock position. And
GG.
yeah, Bexon is dead there. Barstork had a pylon at the 6 o'clock position, and that's what allowed him to reinforce on his opponent's side of the map. And I mean, the Robo, there was no warp prism, and I mean, how else are you going to get units that quickly on your opponent's side of the map? So, you know, I really like. I actually think it was the scouting probe that put down that pylon and then went back in to build the Cybercore. If I'm honest, I think that's exactly how that pylon came to be on the opponent's side of the map. So, yeah, very nicely done there by Barstork, using Warp Gate, the power of Warp Gate, to warp in on your opponent's side of the map, and very nicely done. Taking a little bit of economic damage there from those 2 oracles. Get to recall one of those Void Rays home. But yeah, very nicely done there.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, this is what we mean when we say PvP is a crazy matchup.
So good.
You can get like pretty insane, like 7-minute matches.
Non-stop action from the start.
Yep.
Oh,
So
really good.
it looks like the second map is currently making. I haven't quite gotten a lobby invite, which I would like to have.
Always message the wrong player.
Apparently the players are in game, but we aren't, but then we are in the party.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, there we go. They're in the lobby. And we're just sitting in the menu, so
Okay.
I'm not too certain. Oh, there we go.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, I mean, PvPs are something pretty
Waiting
crazy.
for party. I'm not sure this works. So that's not waiting for party now. But since the other ones are already in the match,
I mean, they're in the lobby.
I suppose we're gonna leave the party. Yeah, I think if you're not in a party, you should. People should be able to invite you. Yeah. All right. Kind of small technical difficulties here. And people are joining this lobby. Did you get an invite yet?
I haven't.
You haven't? I think you can just join me, right?
Yeah,
I can invite you. Like this.
Yep.
Cool. Great! Finally sorted out. It's a little complicated at times, but Well,
It was almost you against Barstork there for a moment.
oh. Well, that would have been would have gone very badly.
Do you play Zerg? Because it had you as a Zerg.
Yeah, I do, but still.
That would have been pretty funny. He would have had to have remade that. Yeah, Giganeth is going to be our second map for this PvP, the first semi-final of the CSO Cup, 21st edition of the CSO Cup. Wow.
Alright then. Let's introduce these players. Oh, let's throw it into the match first, maybe. Spawning in the bottom left corner. The pink Protoss player up 1-0. This is Stork.
And in the top right hand corner with the red probes, playing for Team Platoon, down 1-0 in the series, it is Bexan. Bexan. Zahn, I suppose the H emphasizes.
Probably. For now,
Yeah.
all buildings where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, Bexon goes for Gateway Scout as Barstalk opts to keep his probe at home and get that little bit of an advantage in terms of mineral mining at the moment. RC is sending the probe. Oh, he's sending the probe down. Checking that there's no pylon, there's no cannon rush or anything on his side of the map, and
So did Bexon, by the way.
really, both players just checking to see that they're not getting cheesed.
And will confirm 2 gateways on either side.
Yeah, both players opting for double gates on the high ground, so yeah, so far pretty mirrored. No real crazy deviations just yet. Just slight differences in a few seconds one side and a few seconds the other, so we'll see how this PvP decides to fork in the road a little bit later on.
Yep. 2 Starkas, 4 by Stork. Same for Bexan. Oh, no zealots this time.
No natural blocks this time from either player.
True.
No pylon block, no cybernetics core getting thrown down to block each other off, so
Well,
as
right
I
as
say
you
that.
say that.
Yeah, Barstalk opting to go for the pylon block as
And
Bexon
here's the advantage that
yeah.
Bexon already left. Can't block the Nexus himself. But the Stalkers are out, so that shouldn't really be a big delay.
Yeah, I mean, Bexon did cancel that pylon, so he does actually get the money back for that, whereas Barstalk has opted to let that pylon finish up, so he does lose 100 minerals, and yeah, this, you know, the Nexus is going to go down as the two Stalkers for Barstalk. I don't think win the fight against 2 Stalkers and 2 Sentries there, so
Nah, no chance. Stork will now also take his Nexus. Only a few seconds behind Bexon's.
yeah, we do get the first real deviation here in tech. I mean, well, Barstalk has 4 Stalkers to the 2 Stalkers and 3 Sentries, but Barstalk has a Stargate and Bexon's opting to go for a Robo facility first off, so yeah, I actually really like this on the side of Barstalk. What he's doing is he's getting enough damage done to drain that shield battery so that when the Nexus finishes, there won't be a shield battery overcharge, or I mean, I think that's what he's hoping to get done. The first Guardian shield gets popped, and he has the advantage of having those early sentries is you get to push out these hallucinated phoenixes, and what they do is they give you all the scouting and information you need. There is an Oracle of Barstalk. Yeah, there we go. The Oracle of Barstalk going into the main base here of Bexon, and there's no shield battery, so this Oracle's actually going to start working through these probes.
4 probes,
Wow.
5 probes, holy.
Yeah, that's I mean,
6
pretty nice.
and counting.
Yeah,
The
pretty
1
nicely
in the
done.
geyser already bruised. 7. This is
That's a
brutal
pretty,
for one Oracle.
yeah, pretty successful Oracle, and he's actually just going to park it there, just outside of yeah, outside of the range of those stalkers, and yeah, there we go. Another hallucinated Phoenix does see that the army of Barstalk is still poised outside this natural base, but I mean, 3 shield batteries there, and here comes this first immortal. That's the advantage of getting that early robotics facilities. Oh, these adepts shade up into the main base, and
Yeah, and they
yeah,
will
they
get
got
another three kills.
yeah, I mean that's pretty good on the side of Barstalk here, but
And the Oracle has paired up with another one. And he's continuing to do probe damage. No, actually we'll just take out a sentry. A second sentry. This is costly. 3rd sentry. Jeez.
wow. And gets the tag off on the army of Bexon. These 2 oracles for Barstalk are actually getting so much done. I mean, that's 4 workers plus 3 plus 7. I mean, that's 14 workers that have gone down this game so far on the side of Bexon. And Barstalk has opted to just take his army back home and not to pretty much to anything that could happen on his side of the map. These oracles are still going to
Now there are
be a nuisance. Oh, there we go.
stalkers this time. Just gets attack. Keeping Bexon at bay. And now we're starting to see the supply difference. Where Barstalk is 10 ahead. 5 in workers and 5 in probes.
Yeah,
However, Bexon will take his 3rd base first.
Yeah, I mean,
Only a
Barstalk
few
does have a
seconds.
probe positioned, yeah, ready to take that expansion of his own, so he's actually not too far behind. I think the scouting of the power of these oracles, spotting that Nexus went down, sort of gave Barstalk the knowledge that he can go and take his own expansion without going to die to anything too soon. And yep, there's an observer on the way, on the side of Bexon, so he's actually going to be able to keep tabs on what's going on Barstalk's side of the map. Charges on the way for Barstalk, whereas Bexon's opting to go for Blink. So yeah, this game looks like it's going to heat up. Yeah, I mean these oracles are going to try push into the main again, but there are 3 stalkers yet. So
I don't think these stalkers will leave anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that those 2 oracles got enough done in the early game that Bexon doesn't want to risk losing any more probes, especially now that there are 2 oracles. But I really like this, that those 3 stalkers are positioned there, and Bexon throws down 4 more gates behind his main mineral line. And he's really looking to set himself up to warping in some pretty decent armies.
Barstalk is... Stasis trap gets triggered by an hallucination.
That's so good.
Yeah. That must feel so good for Bexon.
Yeah. And here we go.
Also, this is kind of a fight in an ugly position, where the immortal of Bexon on the right nearly falls, but then gets into shield battery range.
Yeah, it does fall now as Barstalk opts to blink onto this immortal of Bexon, but
yeah, super battery gets triggered. Will help Bexon stay alive for quite a bit longer.
Yeah, but
the immortal of Barstalk falls, and this will make Barstalk retreat for now.
The surface area there on the side of Bexon, I mean, Barstalk opting to go in between the natural and the 3rd, and any, like, the reinforcing immortal there on the side of Bexon was able to just get the extra surface area, and the triple shield.
Second immortal for Bexon falls.
Wow.
So now it's 0 immortals versus 0 immortals. There's still a few more stalkers on Bexon's side, but Barstalk has 1 or 2 zealots and also continues to warp them in.
Yeah, I mean, these engagements are actually getting a little bit chaotic here. Barstalk does have that reinforcing warp prism, so there's no real defender's advantage here. I mean,
yeah, well, except that Bystork obviously can't warp in Immortals.
Yeah,
While
yeah,
Bexan can, but immediately gets sniped once again. Holy smokes.
yeah, Barstow being pretty diligent at targeting down those Immortals pretty much immediately, and
This is costly.
hasn't really produced any more Immortals on his side of the map, so
He
yeah,
now decides to finally go home.
yeah, a big
Getting
transfer,
Bexan to move out.
big transfer of probes there from the main going into the third base. So
I wonder if either player is brave enough to take a fourth base.
yeah, I mean this is
In the
pretty
near future.
unfortunate.
Oh
Yeah,
no! The four
poor Zealots in that War
zealots.
Prism, yeah, get taken out pretty much immediately. That was just an unfortunate rally of the War Prism pretty much into the path of Bexon, and Stalker's pretty much able to just one-shot that War Prism out of the sky.
Yep. What's funny is that there is no defense for Bexan at home, so this probe from Bystork can just go have a look.
Walk straight in, yeah.
But yeah, he knows where Bexan's army is, and this is a big army. The Immortal 4 Bystork will fall. Big Zealot Warpin should keep Bystork alive for now.
Yeah,
The
I mean, he
army-
pops the shield battery overcharge and then extends pretty far out of range of that, so that is going to work in Bexon's favor here. As the army supplies, Bexon pretty much up 15 army supply. What he does,
Yeah,
that
meanwhile-
War Prism stayed a lot. Yeah,
Big Zealot run by.
yeah. That
I
War
think
Prism,
Bexan might have the one on the back.
yeah, Barstock did blink to try to get that War Prism initially. Didn't have enough Stalkers to one-shot it, and unfortunately, the strategy that Barstock was going for is the one that Bexon uses to get a lot of damage done in the main base, shutting down most of his production. And yeah,
Well, GG.
GG gets
We're
called.
1-1.
Yeah, Bexon luckily shut down that War Prism from Barstock, because as you said, that there was no defense and that probe was able to walk right in. So if that War Prism had stayed alive with the 4 Zealots in it, and then walked in another round of Zealots in the main base of Bexon, I mean, Bexon would have had to all in there, but I mean, he got that War Prism and stopped any sort of harassment on his side of the map, and unlucky for Barstock there, he just wasn't able to pick off that War Prism. I think that War Prism went to about half of the hull health, and yeah, he's actually able to warp in those Zealots in the main basin. Well, gets the victory there.
Yeah, that sent us
Wow.
in a map 3.
That was crazy.
And it was.
Yep.
And let's see if we get the invites. There we go. 1v1 on Romanticide, that's what we're looking for. These maps.
Yo,
Sheesh.
crazy. These PvPs are something else, man.
That as well.
These PvPs are something else. I mean, Barstock was so unfortunate not to pick off. I mean, he even blinked to get that War Prism of Bexon, but I mean, just not enough. Like I say, I think it went down to about half of the hull damage. And yeah, the Zealot warping in the main base can be pretty deadly, as we saw there for Bexon, and Barstock just not able to warp in any more units with most of his production being taken offline. Losing 13 probes as well. I think 13 probes went down. 11 or 13 probes went down as well. So, yeah, very nicely done there by Bexon. And like I said, Barstock really hadn't produced any more Immortals. So, maybe that contributed a little bit to his downfall. But here we go, game 3.
Yeah, players have once again altered colors. So we have spawning in the green. For Platoon and back then.
And in the top left, with the pink probes, it is Bystalk.
It is just nice to see players stick to the colors. Kinda makes everyone less confused, but eh. Gateways, both at home.
Yeah, we'll see where that second pylon gets built though. The Bexon going for pretty much the same as the last game. Bexon going for the gateway scout, and Bystalk is now sending his probe down. Well, I think he's just going to check that there's no... Yeah, both players just going to be pretty diligent and check that there's no proxies just behind their natural gas, but yeah, double gates expand at the top of their natural ramp, so yeah, pretty similar openings, and we'll see. Yeah, this probe of Bexon's actually just rallied to... No, of Bystalk's actually just rallied to the mineral line of Bexon, so there's going to be no hidden pylon on the other sides of the map just yet, so...
Yeah. Kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any sort of like natural nexus blocks this game, or
Oh yeah.
any sort of
I mean, for now, neither player started or tried to start a natural expansion, so the blocks could still happen. Yeah, nope. This is a green one, and this pylon does not block the base. What did get blocked?
But he does lose the probe on Bexon does lose the probe on Bystalk's side of the map, so
sure, Bystalk will punish that.
Yeah.
Going for the block.
I think Bexon, yeah, well,
completely envisioned.
Yeah, I don't know if he let that pylon finish in the wall of Bystalk, or if he cancelled it, but oh.
Yeah, this one also cancelled, not finished.
Yeah, he cancels it, and Bexon actually gets down his nexus. Gets his nexus down. Yeah. And
oh, two stalkers hidden in the shadows. I really like that positioning. Trying to catch like single units that rallied across the map for Bexon.
Bystalk's still not putting down that natural nexus. In fact, he's gone for a third gateway.
And this is 4 stalkers. This is, I'd say, more than you would usually. Well, maybe. So that third gate does tell you things. Oh, this one stalker barely gets into battery range. Survives on 3 HP.
Yeah, 3 HP on the hull. That's so unlucky there for Bystalk not to get that kill. But yeah, Bystalk opting to go for this pylon on his opponent's side of the map. Yeah. I mean, that's what he did in game 1, and that's where he was able to get those reinforcements on his opponent's side of the map. And yeah, the shield battery now is in range of this nexus, and so I like this defensive position here from Bexon. Don't think it's going to dive to anything too early. And yeah,
that initial hold did do quite a bit, forcing Bystalk to also take his natural. I mean, it's delayed. Gave him space to build a few more units, which are actually quite a few more units, which makes me really worried for Bexon once again, who doesn't have any batteries here. Oh no.
I think Bystalk's done a pretty good job at wedging these units on this ramp, and so yeah, there's the force field outside. That's the benefit of having those sentries, but yeah, Bystalk getting pretty much quite a lot done here. He has 3 stalkers still in the main base here, and that force field keeping the army of Bexon at bay, and so he's able to pick off a few workers. Not enough though, to be honest. Blink and +1 on the way here for Bexon, as Bystalk only fires up his Twilight Council now, so
he got so many probes down to this 1 HP state. But unfortunately, 3 Stalkers isn't quite enough to one-shot probes.
Wow, that's crazy.
So there are still 3 probes. Very bruised. But, with the shields regen.
Yeah. I mean, Barstock's still taking a pretty forward position. He does let the Shade as the depths finish up in the main base, and they are going to start to chip away at a couple of these pros, but I mean, they really don't get too many.
Yeah. I wonder if the Adepts could one-shot. They probably do, these bruised probes. Oh, yeah. They do 2 damage on the health.
Barstock throws down the
Dank Shrine.
Throws down the Dark Shrine in the back of his main base, but Vexon has a robo facility on the way, and I'm pretty certain that he'd be able to chrono out an Observer. And so I'm not too sure how much those DTs are going to get done.
Yeah, that's also quite a bit of an investment. I mean, you could morph them into Archons later. But for now, Bystork is a little behind. Having lost a lot of units in the main of Vexon.
Yeah, he's down 10 army supply, and he knows Vexon's knocking on his front door here, so does have a couple more shield batteries. There are 4 shield batteries here in the main of in the natural of Barstock, so he's definitely not looking to die. I actually really like that hallucinated immortal. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
really
that is so good.
Yeah, just to sort of like deter Vexon from doing anything, because I don't think Vexon's gotten a scout of, Vexon hasn't gotten a scout of Barstock's main in quite some time. So even though he has sentries, he just hasn't been using those hallucinations to actually get a read. So he has no idea that the Dark Shrine's there, and he doesn't know that Barstock doesn't have a robo. So hallucinating that immortal is actually pretty clutch. I really like that move from Barstock, just to buy himself a bit more time. He is down 10 supply at the moment, which is all army, and Vexon has started his 3rd Nexus already, so Barstock is a little bit behind, but
there's also a DT morphed in somewhere, yeah? Oh, it's in the main. Never mind.
That's so good.
It's already got 6 kills. Now let's see where the chrono boosted Observer is. It's not chrono boosted.
No,
there's no energy for the chrono boost. And this DT is wrecking havoc. 11 kills on its hand. 12 now. This does so much damage.
13. I mean, the Observer's right there in the main base of Vexon, but Vexon's attention's actually on the 3rd base of Barstock. He's moving in with these Stalkers and Sentries, and yeah, Barstock does a pretty good job at holding that off, and yeah, this DT actually doing so much damage that I'm pretty not too certain that Vexon was actually aware that 13 or 15 probes had gone down in his main and in his natural.
He was kind of panicking in the end, pulling off all the probes. But yeah, lost quite a bit. Still ahead in army by just a tad bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind some defensive DTs, because I mean, that Observer's now going to have to stay at home on the side of Vexon.
Yeah.
No, he's actually got 2 Observers out, one with the army and one back at home, so Vexon's pretty safe. Cool. Those DTs wouldn't have done too much, but yeah, Vexon keeping that 10 army supply advantage consistent, and both players now being able to go up and start mining from their 3rd base. But yeah, that DC getting so much done, and Barstock still has the 6 probe advantage. But that being said, there's a robo facility on the side of Vexon, and he's going to use the War Prism to reinforce here, as 3 more DTs are making their way into the natural, but the main fight's happening here at Barstock's 3rd.
Yep, that probably will occupy Vexon quite a bit.
Probes are being pulled into this, as well as the DTs are actually going to ham on all 3 mineral lines of Vexon. This is actually quite crazy.
Yeah, now Vexon
both sides of the map here
seems to lose the fight. Gets pushed back quite hard. Actually so hard that he just figures out.
To be honest, I think it was the DT's So there was an observer at the natural for Bexon there, but there's no observer at the third or the main. So I think the
Oh
DTs were
yeah.
just enough to eat through all of those probes. I actually didn't have the units lost or the probe, the worker death tab on the left hand side there, but I'm pretty certain there were 3 DTs that were warped in, one railing to each mineral line, and I think Barstalk just got too much economic damage done there. That was actually a pretty crazy PvP. Barstalk had no robo, so he had absolutely like no form of detection himself, but Bexon didn't expect the DTs. Once he knew the DTs were out on the field, I mean, he did get that extra observe in the natural, but he had no detection in his third base, and I don't think he had any detection at his main, and I have no idea how many probes went down, but when I looked at the mini-map, those mineral lines looked pretty bare. So I think those DTs just ate through absolutely every unit that was there, every probe that was there, and I mean, I could have looked at the workers lost, all the worker counts at the end of that, but my attention was also in. I think the DTs ultimately won that.
Yep. And this will bring us into the second semifinals.
Yeah.
Where we have Christiana versus Botvinnik. Botvinnik we've seen before. Christiana, I hope he's still there. We're probably gonna throw it into a short break before this. And when we return, we're gonna have that series ready for you. Alright, welcome back, everyone. We've got our second semifinals. And it's gonna be Christiana versus Botvinnik. You know, when I queued back into the stream, I was so ready to do a public service announcement about one of the players, whom we're not gonna name, but if you're familiar with the CSO Cups, you know who it is. Now that player wasn't there, but literally the second I started talking, he joined the lobby. So,
we're gonna shoot into this second semi-final.
yep. I already pinged the admins to go chase him, but no need. No need. Because here we are going into this match. Spawning in the bottom right. The pink Protoss player for Blazer is Christiana.
And in the top right and in the top left hand side, a large shade, the red Terran player, which we've seen earlier today, playing for Genesis Gaming. It is Botvinnik. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a pretty good game. Two GMs battling it out here. We've seen
Yep.
a bit of Botvinnik today, and the winner of this series goes on to face the Protoss in the final. So
We might have a PvP finals if Christiana takes this. If Botvinnik there does, then well, we'll have another TVP, and it would be a PvP third place match. But
yeah, let's see how these two players do.
Yep. Quick expansion from the Protoss side and from the Terran side, no nasty blocks. Christiana playing it cleanly.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
SCV for Botvinnik. Coming into the main. Making sure everything is okay. Sees the full wall besides him. Is it a full wall? I don't think so, right? Nope. Probe passes right through the semi-wall. Good for the turret reapers. Which is exactly what Botvinnik did not play. Because he went Marine first. With another badass skin.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at that.
Yeah, pretty nice skins today.
Yeah, I mean Botvinnik always. The one with the exciting skins. But
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a Stargate opening here for Christiana, so let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be an Oracle. I thought it would be an Oracle, because I mean,
well,
yeah,
most often than not is
an Oracle, and yeah, we'll see if there's going to be a second one out, or if it's going to be a Void Ray just to sit in defense. He did Chrono out that first Oracle, so
yep, this one Hellion here, by the way, making sure or trying to cancel the third base. Unfortunately for him, Christiana has taken the more forward third base, the triangular one.
yeah, this Oracle's going to go into the natural, I think. Yes.
This Hellion won't be able to do anything there. Our killer gets 1 kill, I think. Gets 3 kills.
Yeah.
Never mind.
As there's a medevac with 2 Widowmines heading to Christiana's side of the map. This Oracle comes back in, he's going to get... Oh, maybe
Did
not.
it cancel
yeah,
on the... Oh, delay on the barracks, rather. Delay on another barracks.
Yeah. Very nicely done. Oracle going up to 5 kills. This is Widowmine drops here in the natural of Christiana. And
no pull! Oh, that is a lot of damage. We unfortunately don't have the game hard mod on. but that must have been like 8 or 9 SUVs, right? Probes, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, 8
definitely.
in fact. Unit's lost tab still works. So that was really nice. Also pixeled the Hellion in the process.
Yeah.
Phoenix will take down the Medivac. Hopefully Botvinnik notices.
Oh, he gets a
And
lock on the
unloads,
Oracle.
yeah, he does. Oh, nearly gets the Phoenix with the Widow Lines. That would have been so cool, but
Yeah.
Christiana is on point.
Yeah, very nicely done there. We are going to see the barracks on 2 barracks on the tech lab, so I mean Stimpack and combat shields fire up as we have charge and +1 on +1 ground weapons on the way for Christiana. So both of these players looking to sort of tech up and get a decent-ish army as the Protoss is up to 3 bases, which is where you want to be as a Protoss player. You want to be 1 ahead of the Terran pretty much most of the time. As I think these Phoenixes just got a couple more SCVs in this natural mineral line. As we are now up to 5 Phoenix, so I think these Phoenixes are going to be pretty important if the Terran pushes across the map, either to do counter damage or to pick off those medivacs and really drop the sustainability of that army.
Yeah, this Hellion gets a full scout of everything.
Very nice warp in there, those zealots, to stop the Helium from actually getting into the mineral line.
And this chunk of Hellion's now gonna fly in. Could probably pick up the Cyclone, but there are Marines underneath. So we'll take a little detour. Oh, this big block of bio will chase it away.
Yeah, very good decision there by Christiana to not commit to picking up any of those SCVs. There was, as you said, quite a big chunk of bio at the bottom, in the mineral line, waiting to just do some pretty serious damage there. The Oracle of Christiana is just going to get a tag on this army of Botvinnik, as these Phoenix do come into the main base and they start picking away at some of these constructing SCVs, really delaying the
the third base, the additional barracks, and basically everything. Also get a Raven, I think.
Yeah, they
nearly got the medevac.
Wow, the lock-on range of those Cyclones is actually ridiculous. Wow. But that Phoenix does manage to get out of there alive.
And by the way, behind this, Christiana's macro has been pretty fabulous. Macroed himself up 20 supply. All in workers, basically.
That's 21 zealots on the side of Christiana. He does have the robo support bay on the way, so no detection for those widow mines just yet. So he's not able to pick those widow mines up and pick them off. But yeah, the robo support bay on the way for Christiana, and I wonder if we're going to see some disruptors. I think we'll definitely see some disruptors. Yeah, maybe it'll be a double disruptor drop, or is he going to go straight into Colossus? I really do like disruptors up. And it is mainly a bio army here from Botvinnik, so
yeah, they could do some ridiculous damage, but obviously Colossus can. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they were
more predictable unit.
Yeah, I think if there were some tanks and stuff in this army, then I mean the disruptors would be pretty good because of the splash damage. But I think against mostly bio,
Colossus is fine. Christiana, by the way, takes an engagement, gets a favorable trade, and just gets out of there. Nope.
Loses most of his ground army there. Wow.
And Botvinnik decided that he took more than a bit of damage, as I called it. Just taps out.
Wow.
Sending up Christiana in a
1-0 lead.
Yep.
That was a bit sudden. I mean, Cristiano lost pretty much most of his ground army there. And I think most of the army supply was in Phoenixes, which yes, they can lift up units and pick them up one by one. But, you know, I don't think Botvinnik, even though he was down quite a significant amount of supply, I really don't think he was that far behind.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try again.
Yeah.
2000
2000,
atmospheres will be the next map. No, it could bring us into the finals.
Cristiano on match points at the moment, so he only has to take one more map to get himself to the finals.
Yep.
As game 2 loads up.
And yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what will happen. Let's hope we're loading up rather quickly. Alright. Alright, here we go. And we can just head in. Spawning.
Yeah, good to go.
Yeah, spawning in the top right. The pink Protoss player is Blazers Christiana.
And once again, in the bottom left-hand side, with the red Terran SUVs for Genesis Gaming, it's Botvinnik. Yeah, I'm pretty keen to see what this game 2 of the series has in store for us, because yeah, that's Cristiano was in a pretty commanding position there in game 1, and
Let's see if Botvinnik is able to prevent this. Cristiano obviously being a very good player will once again try to get that leading position. Nothing cheeky, just play it standard.
yeah, Cristiano getting a pretty early Nexus over here is denying the low ground expansion of Botvinnik. Botvinnik does eventually get it off there, but still a little bit of a delay there. But we'll see how this game develops.
Yep, nothing too big yet. Well, that can change. Second barracks for Botvinnik. Alright. Third barracks for Botvinnik.
Wow.
I'm no expert, but that seems a little much for a standard opening to me.
Yeah, I mean, opening up with 3 racks is definitely
Also, this CC is off, isn't it?
I think it's off. I think that was just because it was a pro patrol.
Yeah, probably, alright.
Or maybe not.
But well,
Or maybe
maybe he just wants to morph it first. But I'm fairly sure it's off.
yeah, I think it's off one hex. But yeah, that adept lucky to get out. I think the 3 racks opener there was a pretty good call. Definitely gives you enough Marines to defend against any sort of like early adept pressure. And Stim is going to be on the way. There's another tech lab being built, and
This is a third base for Cristiano.
yeah, that's a yeah. I mean, third base at 3.5 minutes. So that's a very early third base. I think Cristiano. Yeah,
And
he,
I mean,
he didn't get. Yeah,
playing against the triple racks, this might be very dangerous for Cristiano.
Yeah, I think so. I think he Botvinnik sort of like thinks that there's going to be an oracle coming to his side of the map, and I don't know if these Marines are going to be able to do anything with this oracle.
Well, he sees everything now. Sees 3 barracks.
Tech labs.
No factory.
Yeah, both tech labs spinning, and
Yep.
yeah.
He certainly knows what's going on. Fuse battery on the third. The question is, will he be able to fend off what's coming?
I mean, in terms of units, there's really only 3 adepts and 2 oracles on the side of Christiana, so
Yeah, and this is a lot of Marines. The Oracle continuously keeping track of this
combat
army.
shields finished, impact finishes. And yeah, there's really not much here on the side of Christiana. 6 adepts and 3 oracles. I mean, that's it's quite a bit
maybe
of
with a
DPS.
battery overcharge, maybe.
This is a lot of bio here on the side of Botvinnik.
Yeah. He scans, he probably knows.
Oh.
Decides to go back for now. Adept's chasing it. I don't think they want to finish that shade. Oh, they do.
Oh, I don't know if that's a... Oh yeah, well, I mean, the adepts do pretty good. But
yeah, Oracle's going on top. Actually cleans up a lot of the stuff, but all the Oracle's falling.
Yeah, and I think
now the adepts are falling as well.
Yeah.
This is not that much bio left. So he probably can't continue his attack. But also, there's nothing for Cristiano really.
Yeah.
4 adepts. 1 made it out apparently.
Yeah, both players pretty much resetting army counts of each other there. That adept, finishing that adept shade was pretty ballsy on the side of Cristiano, but I think those oracles were there to just back up the... Oh, this is a dead oracle. Yep. Those oracles there to back up those adepts really helped with the DPS of that.
Yeah, and, I gotta be honest, I still don't think he... I really don't know how to express it. Let's say I don't think he should have finished that shade. But it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, Botvinnik was poised there for an attack, and he does scan third base. He's that there's just a little bit too much for him to actually go in for the attack, and decides to pull his his bio army back. And there, just one adept was able to pick off the SCV building that CC on location. So
yeah, delaying it by a few seconds. And oh no, yeah. He misclicked the SCV to stand right next to the CC.
No.
Oh.
There we go. There we go. He starts off. There's a reactor on the starport, so Botvinnik is building 2 medivacs at a time. He's has got I think it's 5 barracks, 5 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. So this is a pretty serious bio commitment here for Botvinnik. But is there? Yeah, there was one Phoenix there who literally just picked up the SCV building that 3rd CC, and I mean wasn't able to do anything other than delay that SCV building that CC. So the one Phoenix does get a scout off, and that is continuing, but not able to do too much anyway. As yeah, Christiana's up 10 supply at the moment.
Yeah, I mean that's not too much.
He is up,
especially since he's down an army.
Yeah.
Now his army quality. I'm not sure. Botvinnik has... It's quite a force moving down here. We're gonna see how it plays out. Christiana not really looking like he expected that attack to come in. He will take it though. Big mine shot on all the zealots. Mine will get taken out, and in the end he just pushes the Tyrant back in the corner.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
his
killing
Phoenix is
all
actually-
the medivacs. This is
Yeah.
huge. This is so big.
Yeah, taking out all those medevacs just stops the sustainability of that army. And even though supplies aren't too far down, I mean, Christiana has that 10 worker advantage and he's up 10 supply right
Yeah,
now.
now even takes a 4th base. He's feeling
Yeah,
confident.
Yeah, I think he's pretty confident. If these Widow Mines burrow and get some pretty sick hits off, I mean, that's something completely different, but...
Nothing
the
really.
Phoenix-
One mine goes off. Doesn't really
Only
hit
one mine.
anything.
Yeah,
Now Christiana's on Botvinnik's doorstep. Now he lost quite a bit of stuff there.
oh,
Oh,
yeah,
man,
he
it
does
barely
eventually.
dies. Barely dies.
yeah, he just picks off that Observer, and Christiana's actually going to decide to back off here. He sends his War Prism to Botvinnik's side of the map, and I think he's just going to send their War Prism. I think it's got 4 Zealots in it, and I think he's just going to try to do a Zealot drop and a Zealot Warp in. Make sure that Botvinnik stays at home. But, yeah, Botvinnik's positioning just outside of his main, and yep, he gets a small whiff of this War Prisms and just outside of natural, and it looks like he's actually going to try to do something about that.
Yeah, I don't think that can unload there.
No.
Or even get in there.
Yeah.
These Phoenixes sharking around.
Yeah, pick off a couple of these SCVs, building supply depots outside. And
Actually,
get
5 SCVs isn't too bad for just going in.
yeah, the War Prism is going to make its way back into the natural mineral. I'm going to unload the Zealots there, and they
That's
actually don't
another
get too
SCV, I
much
think.
stuff.
The
But,
Vikings will shut it down.
Yep, 2 Vikings get to pick that off before Christiana can recall it home, and yeah, Botvinnik cleaning up on his side of the map. I really like this for Botvinnik. He seems to have stabilized. He is down 20 workers and down a base, which isn't really a problem when you have triple orbitals, but
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it can become a
Christiana-
problem. Oh no, these mines. Oh no. Now he's not down workers anymore.
Yeah, they're even on workers there. They're triple Widow Mines, just absolutely wrecking that fourth base mineral line above Christiana there. That was
Holy
actually
smokes.
pretty rough.
Yeah,
Oh, Phoenix.
he will drop them in again, which makes no sense since they're...
Still on cooldown, but I think just to buy a little bit of time. And, I
And
suppose the
actually...
Oof. Yeah, I mean, Christiana has set up. Yeah, there's probably a photon cannon starting in that main. Yeah, there's a photon cannon starting in that main mineral line. But I like the add-on of the ghosts here for Botvinnik. A couple EMPs would definitely take slow this army down. But I mean, 4 Colossus is not something. There we go. Those are the EMPs I was talking about. They take those shields away from those Archons. And once those Archons have no
Yeah,
shields,
they're
they actually
so
just,
brittle.
yeah, they actually just melt. But I mean, these some War Prism micro here on these Colossus actually going to, I mean, keep them alive for a little bit longer. But I think Botvinnik just has too much, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
The
it kind of looks like it.
Yeah,
walking
I really
through.
I liked his position, but those EMPs are just too good at pretty much taking up most of the meat out of Christiana's army, and yeah, this is turning into be a pretty good PvT.
But when it goes back for now, I think he might just get back in.
Yeah, there was a
There-
really good engagement there.
There are the disruptors that Cristiano hopes can turn the game back around.
There are still 2 Colossus here, so there's still quite a bit of splash on the side of Christiana. I do wonder if that scan was just to see if there was an observer.
Probably.
But yeah, I think there are 2 medivacs heading to the 3rd base or 4th base
Yeah,
of
they are.
Christiana. And yeah, it's just going to force in a few Zealot warp-ins, and Yeah, force Cristiano to split off a couple units just to keep that base a bit safe as yeah, Botvinnik's gonna take a move out onto the north side of the map here, and
Yeah, both
Cristiano
players
is aware of
rotating
this.
around.
Yeah, Cristiano is seeing this happen, so
And here come the disruptors.
these Vikings actually doing such a good job at zoning out those Colossus, and they pick one off almost immediately. I think the amount of Vikings that Botvinnik has still requires 2 shots to kill these Colossus, but the Vikings actually doing such a good job at keeping
Yeah.
those Colossus quite far back.
I
And
mean,
yeah, the Liberators.
I mean, they're kind of not that good against disruptors, but everything just falls against these liberators.
Yeah. Cristiano actually not able to push too far forward, and Botvinnik going up 30 supply right now. Liberators unsieging and sieging again, and yeah, these disruptors actually not getting the purification novas that they'd hope for. Another 2.
Oh, there's a big one.
As I say that, there's a solid purification nova, but these liberators zoning out this army as the disruptors aren't able to move too far forward, and yeah, this is just going to be a base kill for Botvinnik.
And I wouldn't be shocked if he just continued on moving in. You gotta be honest, he really has the momentum.
Yeah.
46 supply ahead, 48.
Yeah, I mean, these Liberators actually doing such a good job at zoning out this army for... There we go. Another good purification nova, gets quite a few units there, but these Liberators actually doing a really good job at just zoning Cristiano back and, you know, stopping him from getting underneath there and actually getting some serious damage done. Cristiano is going to expand in the bottom right-hand corner after losing that base, and that's a really far expansion. I don't know if Botvinnik's actually going to be aware of that anytime soon. And
Yeah, meanwhile he's long distance mining from this rich gas one.
Yeah.
While I was constructing. Due to the sheer distance. And long distance mining not being really viable at all from that corner base. Down here.
Yeah. But I mean, those Liberators actually doing such a good job at keeping those disruptors so far back that, I mean, the purification novas are so easy to dodge.
Yeah, and Cristiano isn't at all able to close the supply gap. Botvinnik by accident finds the base.
In the bottom right corner. He was actually just rallying some troops around the corner there, and yeah, manages to stumble upon that base accidentally. And yeah, it looks like he's just going to try some multi-prong harassment. Probes are actually getting pulled into this fight.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that even was intentional, to be honest. A lot of stuff dies, but I think in the end it's Botvinnik pushing through.
Yeah,
Newly max versus Cristiano's 100 supply. GG. Game 3 up next.
Yeah, very nicely done there by Botvinnik. Very nicely done there. I mean, Cristiano had such a good composition there, but those Vikings pretty much almost one-shotting those Colossus. I think there were 5 Colossus in that one engagement, and the EMPs from those ghosts actually just vaporizing those shields. And Botvinnik, I think from that moment on, Botvinnik sort of just kept that momentum going. That was actually very nicely done there by Botvinnik to take us to a game 3. Yeah, it looks like these
Which
players,
makes... No, never mind. Oh my god, these lobbies are quick.
Yeah, these players are not mucking about. They want to get going. Who sent me the lobby link? If it was Botvinnik, I wouldn't be surprised. He sort of just wants to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, but it was Cristiano.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Botvinnik played a pretty excellent game 2 there. And the addition of those ghosts actually did so well. I really like that. And he kept the momentum going after taking that pretty good engagement. Game 3, our final game of this second semi-final for the 21st edition of the CSO Cup. So let's see who will go forth into the finals.
Yeah. It's 1-1. Game 3 has started. Spawning on the top left. The pink Protoss playing for Team Blazer. This is Christiana.
And in the bottom right hand corner, once again this evening, it is the red Terran player for Genesis Gaming, Botvinnik. Played such a power game 2 there, and I'd like to see him carry on that momentum into this game 3. But I mean, Christiana is a formidable opponent.
Yep, and he will oftentimes just shake that off and go into the game 3 as if nothing happened.
And yeah, let's see what this final game of the semi-finals holds for us. It's definitely been an exciting one.
Pro making sure everything is where it is supposed to be. And it is.
Yeah, that CC's in the correct place. I'm not too sure if the CC in the last game was moved, or if it was in the correct place. It certainly looked off. I'm with you there, GX. It certainly looked off to me as well.
Yeah,
but,
this one certainly right. I mean, there's a big circle around it, so you know exactly where it's meant to be placed. Which always is a help, except in that one map. I think it's not in the map pool anymore.
Yeah, I'm
where
not sure
the circle was like half a tile off and you weren't sure.
Yeah. Not sure if this bunker is supposed to be really intense. Well, I suppose
I mean, this could be a Reaper bunker.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Reaper already gets a probe. And we'll just hop in there. This is annoying. It really is. Because for now, basically all mining on that base is denied.
Yeah, the Adept does chase after that SCV, and he does manage to pick that SCV off, so there'll be no repairing of this bunker. But yeah, this is pretty annoying to deal with as the Protoss player there. Luckily there's a shield battery here, and that shield battery is just going to keep these probes alive, so...
Yep, as long as they're in range. And now the Reaper might actually go down. Pay for what it's done.
Christian is now able to mine from his natural expansion pretty comfortably.
Yep, so got a little bit of a delay. Obviously it was a bit of an investment for Botvinnik as well. Who I think managed to salvage the bunker.
Yeah, he definitely did. So,
God.
he goes for a defensive bunker back home for himself, so he does see that the Adept's going to try shade up into the main base, and his Marines are just going to chase the shade, and the Adept's not going to get any sort of free scouting information right now. As Botvinnik's gone for 1 barracks, 1 factory into this 3rd CC, into an early 3rd CC, so...
Yeah, Christiana's side. This looks like quite a few gates, not gonna lie.
Yeah, Botvinnik's got a Marine there, spotting to see when Christiana takes his 3rd base, so... Yeah, the Warp Prism about halfway done on the side of Christiana, and Blink's 80% done, almost 90% done, so... we'll see if Christiana's looking to use their Warp Prism to get some... scouting information. The Adept finishes its shade up into the main base and manages to get 1 SCV, and that's all it's going to get for its life.
Yeah, but now the 4 gates. Christiana doesn't want to mess around.
Yeah, he's looking to put some serious pressure on you. There's a 2nd tank being built, a 3rd tank, I beg your pardon, being built for Botvinnik. So Botvinnik does have 2 tanks, and One on the hard ground, one just outside the mineral line there on the natural. But Blink is done, so I do wonder
Yeah,
if
he's
Christian
probably
is
just gonna. I mean, he
blink up
might
in the main.
just blink up the main. He could also blink on top of the tank. There are lots of possibilities with Blink. Blinks on top of the first tank and just walks on the second. Third
Yeah, I think
tank doesn't even get to siege up.
yeah, I was going to say, I think he just needs to get out of range of those double bunkers because there were two almost full bunkers there, and that's a lot of DPS.
Yeah, the bunker has now unloaded and is chasing after the Stalker in form of Marine. But the Stalkers just blinked down.
Yep.
Additional Stalkers have been warped in. Gonna take out the first bunker.
Yep, very nicely done there. There's that second bunker that I was mentioning, and the SCVs are there ready to repair, so I don't think Christiana's going to get too much done at the front of the natural here, but...
Yeah, now finally another tank is in production. Bunker on the high ground. Main base just gets easily taken down by the Stalkers. Who
yeah, these Stalkers
can already blink back down again.
They're just going to blink out of range.
Wow, this blink micro from Christianer.
Yeah, so good. And as you said, the 4 gates actually allowing him to reinforce 4 Stalkers at a time, and that's something pretty serious here. These SCVs ready to repair.
But that is simply just not enough against so many Stalkers.
Yeah.
And you can't really hear that. They're kind of in a choke, but they can obviously blink down there. Wow. If Christiana is careful, only losing 1, I think.
That blink marker is so good. I mean, one of those Stalkers literally sitting on 2 hit points. That's so good. And another 4 Stalkers get warped in pretty much immediately.
Yeah, goes back into the main. He is putting on some serious damage, Christianer. That is.
Yeah,
if he takes out this base, okay, it will get repaired. I don't think he wants to try to out DPS Nat while the Stalkers might die to the reinforcements. But that is some groove moment for Botvinnik right there. Who has managed to get out a tank, but Christiana just blinks on top of it. Goes back out, losing like 1 or 2 Stalkers again.
Pretty much deletes that tank. So good.
Yeah.
Very nicely done here. Christiana is definitely looking to keep this pressure on Botvinnik. He really doesn't want Botvinnik to get up to a 3rd base. He's really trying to keep him pinned back on his 2nd base as he goes for a
4th base himself.
Yeah, throws like 4 more gateways as well, so he's really looking to keep this pressure on and actually do quite a serious amount of damage.
And he keeps this tank count like so low. I don't think Botvinnik had more than 3 tanks at some point in the game. He's now on 3 tanks once again.
Yeah, War Prism's going into the main mineral line, so gonna unload some Zealots, keep Botvinnik from mining there a little bit longer, and the Stalkers just poised outside the natural. I wonder if they're gonna blink. No, they're not gonna blink on top of that tank.
But still, take out a few SCVs now who are parked there. Took out some units.
Yeah, and definitely keeping the APM of Botvinnik in check with that War Prism.
Yep, and at home, that 4th base is near finished. While the 3rd base for Botvinnik, its only purpose is creating SCVs and mules. He now feels like he has the capabilities to take a 3rd base.
Yeah, I think getting the tank count up to 2, 3, there's definitely what's helped Botvinnik stabilize here in this sort of like early game. Keeping the tank count really low was pretty essential to Christiana keeping the pressure on, but now that the tank count's gotten a bit higher, Botvinnik's actually able to push forward and secure his 3rd base, while Christiana is pretty much comfortably mining on 4.
Yeah, Christiana in a really nice position with that. His army count only slightly higher, but in the worker department he's well ahead, and that will scale into army.
Yeah, I think Christiana just
once it really kicks in.
War Prism in the bottom right hand corner. There's a Viking sitting there in the corner, so I'm pretty certain he lost that War Prism in the bottom right hand corner, which I think he was hoping to warp in the mineral line, but these stalkers are going to blink forward. The Zealots now have charge, and 2 tanks on the high ground here for Botvinnik are going to actually get quite a lot of shells.
Yeah, but they're gonna get dropped on by the Zealots.
Yeah,
Get taken down, 26 SUVs falling, and I think Botvinnik might be just dead.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, Cristiano just has so much army here. He's doubled the army supply right now.
GG.
Yeah, Botvinnik just taps out. Cristiano plays a really, really good game there, keeping Botvinnik pinned back long enough, resetting that tank count consistently, not allowing Botvinnik to build up too much. Cristiano did a really good job there. Takes the series 2-1.
Yep, GG, well played. So next up we will have the grand finals in Bystalk versus Cristiano, another PvP. Before that, we're gonna throw it into a quick, let's say 5-minute break. Getting the players' lobby sorted and a little less stuff. And when we return, we should have that grand finals ready. See ya! Alright, welcome back everyone to the grand finals of this CSO Cup. It's Christiana versus Bystork PvP. Best of 5, so gonna take approximately 10 minutes. Nah, I mean, we know that Christiana is oftentimes more of a conventional player. And I mean, we've seen Bystork PvP today. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. This is a best of 5, correct?
Yeah, this is best of 5.
So it's gonna be a pretty interesting best of 5 PvP. This. Looking forward to it.
Alright, map has loaded up. So let's go in. Spawning in the top right. This time not in the pink, because that's his opponent. In the red, it's Blazes Christiana.
And in the bottom left hand side with the pink probes, it is Bystork. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a PvPs, as I said earlier. Pretty fun. So, let's see what comes of this. Should be pretty chaotic, and I'm really looking forward to a pretty good back and forth.
Yeah. For now we have mirror build orders. Although Christiana is doing this kind of semi-wall thing. And Bystork is trying to go for the low ground wall. Neither of which is too conventional, but not a big deal either way.
Yeah, good to see 2 different strategies here. Yeah, let's see. These probes just having a quick nibble at each other in Christiana's mineral line as Christiana looks like he's just gonna block the nexus of Bystork from going down, but yep, Bystork stops chasing the probe and throws down his nexus. Goes up to check that there's what's actually going on here on the side of Christiana. Christiana has 2 gateways in his main base, and
Bystork?
yeah, throws
There's
down
only
early.
one.
Yeah, I mean, Christiana throws down the early Twilight Council, and you know, Bystork is going to go back in for the scouts and see that there's still no natural from Christiana. So I think Bystork has to know that
At least something is up.
Yeah, Christiana's definitely looking to put a little bit of pressure on it. He's committing all his resource to army for the moment, and yeah, Bystork opts to go for that shield battery in the wall on the low ground of his natural. So
Yeah, that's probably the correct decision, as 2 stalkers make the way across. Isn't there any unit for Bystork?
they are
Oh,
the
yeah,
2
yeah,
stalkers.
there are. Alright.
Yeah, I think the stalkers had gone to go check if there was any sort of like
Proxy, alright.
proxy Stargate or something, and you know, maybe like proxy Stargates with all the shield batteries that Protoss like to go for. So, but yeah, Christiana does have that pylon, and it's actually going to proxy, as we said, that proxy another gateway on the.
Yeah,
on the
make that a quick Quick pylon. Bystork immediately scouts it.
Yep.
But even still, Christianer has more stuff. Once that Void Ray pops for Bystork, he should be able to push Christianer back a little further. Void Ray is very good against Stalkers.
Yeah, and having the shield battery there to keep that Void Ray alive a little bit longer is definitely going to help. But this is quite a few Stalkers here on the side of Christianer.
And it's 4 gates, and right? Yeah.
Yeah, Bystork is chronoing out these Void Rays one at a time, so I think if Bystork can actually get up to like 3 or 4 Void Rays, he should be able to hold this. But this is actually a lot of Stalkers here on the side.
Yeah, and Blink is nearly finished.
Yeah.
Only 10 seconds away. Loses his Stalker. Damages 1 fairly hard.
Oh, there we go. There are 3 shield batteries here for Bystork, so if the shield battery overcharge gets popped here on the first shield battery, and yeah.
Bystork continuing to chrono out these Void Rays. Christiana commits in there. Doesn't quite have the units to one-shot full HP Void Rays, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Shield battery can't do anything. It's still 2 shots. GG gets called.
Yeah.
Christiana with a convincing 1-0 victory. 1-0.
Yeah, just going for one base all in there. That was a pretty wild game 1. 1 base all in, just going for the 4-gate Blink Stalkers, and even though Bystork had the 3 shield batteries and was chroning out those Void Rays, I think the Stalkers just able to pick off 1 Stalker at a time. The Stalkers of Christiana being able to pick up 1 Stalker at a time, and Bystork and keeping his army count quite low there, when just allowed him to just blink in and right click down those Void Rays. Crazy. Like a pretty wild game 1 to kick us off.
Yeah. That's what we have yet to find out what the second map is. Or not sure if the players have done vetoes. Christiana says any map, just pick.
Yep. That's always a good position to be in if you're pretty confident in. I suppose you're in a PvP. It's kind of mirror matchups. It really comes down to personal preference. But Christiana really doesn't have any sort of like personal preference apparently. And yeah, the maps really aren't going to favor one race more than the other when they're both playing the same. So. Well, let's see what game 2 has, with Christiana being up 1-0 after that 1 base all in.
Yep. It's gonna be Lightshade. Should have picked Beckett or something. or did Bystork veto? Well,
good to see something different.
Let's go Lightshade for now then. Spawning in the top left. Direct Protoss. This is Blazes Christianer.
And in the bottom right with the pink probes, once again, it is Bystork.
That was the wrong button. I am really sorry. I misclicked there and you saw what happened. Well, we're back in game. Let's just forget that ever happened and focus on this game where we have conventional openings, building placements, as well as building counts.
And pretty normal scouts. Oh,
Yep, except this is a proxy Stargate probe right there.
Yep.
Here's the proxy. Stargate next. No! It's not a proxy Stargate. Alright.
Looks like Barstock's gonna take a
I
page out
cursed
of
it.
Christiana's book and
Yeah, proxy is a gateway. Cast a curse.
that's all good. But it would be exactly the same as the last game if Christiana goes down for his expansion, which it looks like that probe is on the way to go do. Or no, there's a probe heading to the south side of the map for Christiana. So we'll see what if he's just scouting out for some proxies or
Maybe wants to
If
scout something of his own.
maybe send a proxy.
I mean, this would be a dark shrine position, but looking at
Yeah.
the rally path of the probe, this is just scouting. He might find. Yeah, he does.
Scout. But the Stalker of Barstock actually gets the first couple shots off there, and Christiana's not going to fight that right now. He's
Yep.
just going to back off knowing that there's
Now
a
this
proxy
might
gate.
be a proxy DT shrine. Might also be just scouting, but he
Yeah, I
stopped
mean-
in the corner. All right, no.
Neither player opting to go for
I'm dreaming.
the expansion just yet, so yeah, we'll see what comes of this. I mean, Barstock is up 1 gateway, so it is 3 gates against 2, and yeah, there's a proxy on Barstock's side of the map from Christiana, and I wonder if this is going to be a proxy Stargate, and
Yeah. It's definitely not the DT shrine.
yeah, not so
Like
close
what
to
I
your
called.
opponent, but or if that's just going to be a reinforcing pylon, we'll have to see. It could just be that reinforcing pylon for Warp Gate.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably want a gateway there as well, so it's kind of odd that the probe does left. Will he scout the pylon? Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Was barely on the edge of his vision.
But very nicely done, and this is turning out to be a little bit of a scrappy kind of game. The Stalkers and Barstock are actually going to rush up to try to defend this proxy gateway. There are a couple more that are going to meet up with these initial 5, and yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a scuffle going on here. The proxy gateway of
Yeah, and
Barstock.
now there is a dark shrine, but it's not from Christianer. And it's not being proxied.
Yeah.
And Christianer, I think he has fewer stalkers here. So he has to retreat. Back home, there's no
Yeah.
battery or something. But
Christian,
Barstock
however,
doesn't
is the
want to
only
poke
one-
up the base.
Yeah, he is the only one with Blink though. So those Blink Stalkers of Christian are actually going to now go for that proxied gateway. They're going to shut that down. Yeah, there we go. They're going to start nibbling away at the pylon, and yeah, there are
What?
only 4 Stalkers, so
What? Yep, he gets
yeah,
it. And
yeah,
blinks,
they get-
blinks away.
yeah, very nicely done there. Very, very nicely done there. As Barstock goes for his natural expansion.
Yeah.
So
Also,
far,
again, planning to
Gonna
rebuild the
repower.
pylon.
yeah, repower that gateway.
And this Stalker Force will not meet it. It will meet the Dark Templars, which just... Shush.
Yeah, those DTs actually did the scout there, and Barstock recalls his Stalkers back home. The
Yeah, not
Stalkers
sure
of
if it is
Christian are-
enough, numbers-wise.
Yeah,
This time it's
definitely
Christianer
not.
who has more, and he just presses through. Oh
Yeah,
my, this could be
Christian.
a quick to 0. Considering
Yeah,
the DTs, or assuming the DTs don't do game-ending damage.
The DTs actually can't get into the main base. I think they're attacking the structure, yeah. That's actually so well done from Cristiano. Actually just blocking the
And
the
now
main
force
base here.
fielding,
Yeah.
making sure nothing happens.
Yeah, so good here from Cristiano, and he's going to go up 2-0
Shutting down
in the
everything. Alright, he decides he doesn't even want to kill the probes.
series. Yeah,
Just
gonna recall
recalls
back
home.
up.
I don't think there's an observer. Oh, the robo.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
the
just gonna-
robo.
He's just going to hold position these
Yeah,
stalkers.
making sure the GTs can't get on there. They will get on there, but now they're dead.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, GG.
Yep.
Cristiano goes up 2-0.
Yeah, Cristiano did a really good job there at stopping those DTs from getting in, and I really like that force field as well. Just stopping them from doing any more damage on that building. Very nicely done. That's going to be a very quick 2-0 here. Which is... Yeah, pretty good. Cristiano also the person who's not particularly phased on which map they play on right now, so I think he's just feeling pretty confident in the PvP matchup. Pastor getting the option to pick whichever map he pleases, and so far that's not working in his favor.
Yeah. So this
I mean,
is...
Bastalk a North American player, or
I'm not sure.
do you know which region he's from? Because I mean, Cristiano's a...
I mean, looking at his
GM.
account, he's not from Europe.
Yeah.
So much I
wonder
can
if-
say, but
I wonder if the ping has something to do with it.
yeah,
there,
that might
or-
actually.
Yeah. I also only just looked at that now. But yeah, Giganeth is going to be our third map, with Cristiano being on match point in the grand final of 21st edition of the CSO Cup, which is actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, Juggernaut loading up. Third, and if it goes to Christian, or perhaps final map, starts now. Spawning in the top right. The red Protoss for Blazer. It's Christianer.
And hopefully for not the last time this evening, he's down 2-0 in the series. The pink Protoss probes, it is Bystalk.
Oh, Christianer. Going for the normal one again, so is Bystalk. So far, everything has worked out for him there.
They're pretty standard as both players going for what is the meta openings at the moment, and yeah, everything seems pretty chilled so far. Double gateway scout. It looks like Bystalk's gonna proxy something just outside his own main base.
Oh. That might be just to deter the scouting probe.
Yeah, I think Christian is looking for the second pylon and is looking for something in the main base. He's not going to
Yeah.
find it, and I think that's a little bit of mind games here on the side of Barstow. Christian is now going to have to go look around in all little corners of this map, but the pylon's actually just
Right
outside
outside the
Bastow's
base.
main base. Yeah, yeah, so
And you're not really looking there as Christianer.
yeah, he's actually sending that probe to the bottom right hand corner right now, so definitely knows that that pylon's not in the main base like it's supposed to be, and I think Barstow gets a little bit of a win there. Christiana setting a probe to the north side of the map, on another probe to the north side of the map. Just scouting pretty much everywhere for that
Yeah,
second
unaware of
pylon.
what's going on. While everything is just normal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good thing there for Barstow. I like that little mind game. He's down 2-0, so it's really, really nice of him to actually be, throw something else into the mixes. There is an Oracle on the way. What's a hallucinated Oracle?
Yep.
On the way to Christiana's side of the map.
Just for the scout. Might get taken down by the stalkers. Nope. But the stalkers will give the heads up.
Yeah, Christiana has put a reinforcing pylon on Barstock's side of the map, so looks like he's just going to commit to these stalkers, and it is 4 stalkers versus 3 stalkers and 3 sentries, so it is a those force fields just not able to keep that stalker in there. Stalker's going to manage to get out in the red in hull damage, so it is unfortunate, but Christian is making use of their reinforcing pylon, and I think he's going to wait for one more warp in before he consolidates all his units and then pushes in. There are some units there waiting, and I think one more warp in would do really good. There we go. Well, these 3 stalkers are going to meet up with the others. There's 2 more warping in, and yeah, Blink is almost done for Christiana, but there is an Immortal on the way here for Bistalk, so we will see if this Immortal is actually able to do something. Christiana's teasing at the front here, just outside the natural. Christiana's actually one base in this.
Yeah, he's not really looking to committing. His blink is gonna finish in just about 10 seconds.
And yeah, Christiana's really just one base all in this, as he did in the first game, if I'm not mistaken. He just went one base all in, and
yep, it is Immortal. Barrier gets triggered. And he's just gonna commit on top. Battery overcharge, not being able to do anything. He's just DPSing a hell out of that army. Obviously taking rather big losses. But Stark is warping in here. He's still able to fight with his existing army. For some reason he left part of the army. Alright, now we go, probably messed up control groups or something. I don't think it really does matter.
Those stalkers are just nibbling away at the stalkers of this stalk over here, and there is another Immortal here, but
he's probably just gonna blink on top of that, right as I say that he does. This is the rest of Bystork's army, and Bystork might just be dead once again. Yeah, he does damage, gets out, regroups, and repeat. Another Immortal is out.
Well, I think there's just too many stalkers here on the side of Christiana.
Yeah, slow pylon taking ages, but Immortal doing good damage. Shield battery overcharge, you can't commit in there. With not that many stalkers, gonna wait until that runs out.
Here on the side of Bystork, so.
But he's just gonna blink on top. First Immortal is dead once again. Okay, he's gonna walk on top of the other one. That's a bold move.
There's a shield battery there, and that
oh
shield
my god.
A lot of work,
He
but yeah.
gets it just gets it. Will he get the pylon? Oh, this is so sweet.
Yeah, that's actually very nicely done there by Christiana. Christiana's actually playing such a good game right
And now we can't. we can't obviously miss that. Cristiano lost a lot by committing into that Immortal. But that could have given him a biggest advantage, since now the next Immortal only halfway done. Only now can Dice Lord once again warp in units.
Yeah, he's actually just, you know, coming in with these Stalkers and just picking off units one at a time.
Yeah, picking off probes in the process. Will once again depower. Nope, once again blink on top of the Immortal first.
And that's it. Depower the production, and I think this is going to be GG. Cristiano has put out a second Nexus as a backup plan to this, but I think this is too much damage. And yeah, the probes are getting pulled into this, and the probes are not going to take out this many Stalkers, so...
No.
Yeah, this is it.
You can try, but double pylon will fall.
Gets taken out.
Stalkers just running, blinking circles. Cristiano takes it 3-0. Wins another CSO Cup.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the wild nature of PvP. Cristiano going for the one base all-in strategy again that he pulled in game 1, and it pays off. Although a little bit longer than game 1, but yeah, he gets the 3-0 and is this week's winner.
Well played.
Yeah. Very
Bysorg,
nice
obviously, also got a nice round. Getting second, I don't know who exactly or third, but you can either check the challenge once that gets announced, or look on the CSO community Discord if you're not on it. !Discord. Also, while I have you here, you can make sure the tournament prize pool grows bigger. You see in the bottom right, it's just on $10.05, which means there are at least 5 Match Arena codes left, so if you haven't already. Under !P, you can add $1 to the prize pool for free by entering the code CSOCU21. It's literally free money, and yeah, that, like, I mean, it takes about 30 seconds probably, so there's pretty much no reason not to do it. And yeah, if you haven't already, that would be deeply appreciated, enabling us to make prize pools bigger. Obvious. Thanks for Trovo. We already have a rather big prize pool of $30 here, since they're sponsoring the event. But did I forget anything like that?
I don't think so. Big shout out to our sponsors, as you said. And well done to Cristiano for winning 21st edition.
Yeah, with that, then I guess
Follow.
yeah, if you haven't, you can also follow the channel. I saw a lot of follows coming in. Thank you to everyone who did follow the channel today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well then, thanks for watching. Come back next week for the CSO Contender, our 4.4k MMR capped tournament, also with the prize pool. So if you're under 4.4k MMR and you think, let me try to win some money, maybe some Diamond League Championship points, for which this tournament is qualified, definitely go play there. If not, come watch. And see you all next week. Bye.